Hello everybody and welcome back to Be Like Christ for a special video, and that's because this morning we just hit 50,000 subscribers on this channel, and I just wanted to update you a little bit about the channel and to say thank you, basically. So that's all this video is. I don't have a script in front of me or anything like that, but I just want to talk about the channel and where we've been, where we're going, and well, I say where we're going. God always has different plans, than I have, so take it with a grain of salt. But the channel has existed now for, I think, 7 years. So the growth has been slow, but some of that I think is just the subject matter and the type of videos that I choose to make, and the fact that I make them in my sketchy back bedroom and instead of actually being like a good YouTuber and having a studio. But it's been around for 7 years. I was 27, I think. Yeah, 27 when I started it. I'm now 33, basically old as dirt, and not nearly as good looking as I was back in an old video I just watched the other day. So sorry, your presenter's not going to get any better looking, but it's been 7 years, and the goal and the format of the channel has changed over the years. The last couple years we've been doing the 5-minute Bible study series, and what I've begun focusing on, and what I hope I'm achieving with God's help, is I really wanted to be a resource to people to help them understand the scriptures for themselves and have confidence that they can understand the scriptures for themselves, and to be perhaps a guide to give people that confidence, as much as humanly possible. I just kicked my camera. Speaking of sketchy studios. And that the inspiration for that really came, I think the majority of it came from my upbringing and my father and my mother. When I was younger, like from the age of 2 to 18, my mother and father would sit me and my brothers down every night for what became known as lesson. And lesson was basically a Bible study. We would go through some story of the Bible, some text of the Bible, and then we would draw applications from it at the end. Usually our applications were terrible, like obey the Bible, or you should love Jesus. You're talking about Samuel. You should obey the Bible. That's my application for today. But they would make us do that every day that we didn't go to worship. I say make us because we didn't always want to do it, but I can see now how it was formative and transforming and educational to me, and has played a big impact on my adult life. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who don't have parents who are going to lead them in that way. And in some ways I wanted to take this channel and mimic that for other people, to introduce people to the scriptures, to give them confidence that they can understand it, and really just to familiarize people with the scriptures, because in our world people are becoming more and more Bible illiterate. And rather than taking like a topical approach to Bible study, which there's a ton of videos out there like that, my goal is to do it in move through the text as the text was written, with the goal of when you do a lot of topical study, it's easy for people's biases to kind of creep in to those topical studies, and you're not always aware of it unless you know the actual text of the Bible. So I think, although it's slower, although it certainly doesn't get as many views on YouTube, I think the value of knowing the scriptures for yourself in that verse by verse, chapter by chapter way is a more meaningful way to teach. Not taking anything away from topical study necessarily, but to me personally, I saw a need for that on YouTube, and I saw people who wanted it, and so that's kind of why I've taken the approach. A lot of it's been inspired by my parents and what they were doing. And so that's my goal, is to empower people. Well, certainly God is going to be the one who empowers people, but to be his servant in helping people to know him through what he's written. So that's kind of the goal of the channel. That continues to be the goal of the channel. That'll probably take us another year and a half to finish the 5-minute studies. And after that, I have some plans. Again, God might change these, but tons of people have reached out in emails or comments, and my wife's been encouraging me to do this, and my brother was encouraging me the other day to do an apologetics series following this up. So we know the Bible, we study the Bible, but is it believable? Is there reason to believe in God? Is there a reason to believe the Christian religion as the exclusive way to salvation? Or maybe I should just say Jesus as the exclusive way to salvation. Are the claims of the Bible true? Evaluating some of the claims of the secular world and the critics of Christianity. A lot of people have asked me for that, and I'm thinking that maybe after the 5-minute studies are finished, maybe we'll go into some of that. Not to make the channel, an apologetics channel necessarily, but maybe there's a need for some of that, and maybe that's the direction that we'll head. At least that's my idea. I just wanted to give a huge thank you to the people who have supported this channel. I think first of all, I have to say thanks to my wife who has believed in this channel and the work from the very beginning, even when it wasn't making any money, even when she was working full-time and I was working full-time on this, and she was making 10 times as much money as I was making, and I wasn't even able to, basically wasn't even making a full-time income or even anywhere close to it. Originally, it was just funded by my wife and I's income while we lived in Ohio. And then we moved to Guam. I quit my job to work on this full-time, and she was working, making the vast majority of the money. But she believed in what I was doing. And, eventually, slowly, very slowly, it has started to make enough money through ads that run on my website and book sales and things like that, for it finally to be really sustainable in and of itself. Thanks God for that. But massive thank you, of course, to my wife, who she'll probably watch this later, for always believing in what we were doing and continuing to believe as we move forward. And thank you, of course, to everyone who has financially supported the ministry. We're not, I call it a ministry, but it's again, it's just me kind of in my sketchy back bedroom. We're not supported by any churches. We don't receive funds from any churches or anything like that. And it's just been self-funded and then funded by people who are part of the Patreon. Huge thank you to those people. People who have bought books. We make a little bit of profit off of each study book we sell. People who have just given one-time donations in various ways. All of that money has built the foundation of this, and I think in the long run, I think it is having an impact now. I think in the long run, if God keeps me alive, it can have a really big impact, I hope, if it's stewarded well. Just to let you know, probably about 10,000 people get on the YouTube channel every day to do some kind of study, and then another 5,000 get onto the website every day to download resources or to get answers to Bible questions or to work through a chapter of the Bible verse by verse or chapter by chapter. And so I'm thinking, I have goals for the future. Again, those are up to God, but my goal is to continue to increase that and to grow it and to put good, solid, biblically grounded material out there for people to use for years to come. And my goal is to do the channel basically until I'm dead. So who knows how long that'll be, 5 years, 40 years, 50 years. I really hope that God allows me to do that. And so just know that if you have supported the channel in any way in the past, I really hope that money has built a foundation for something that is going to grow into the future. And my wife and I are, I don't know if I should, I feel like I always say we're going to do this thing in the future, and then God blows it up and says, no, you're actually doing this. One of our goals, really one of our big goals, is to begin taking the resources and translating them into other languages, and then distributing them to other cultures and other languages as well. So hopefully everyone who's contributed to the channel is building that foundation. And so thank you so much. Even if you just watch the videos on YouTube, we get a little bit of ad money from the ads that run on the videos, and so that goes to supporting the channel. So if you're just a consistent watcher and not, never necessarily donated, your consistency also helps build what we're doing here. So I just wanted to say thank you at this milestone. It seemed like a good time to do it. And I know I don't talk a whole lot about, I don't do a whole lot of like off script videos or talk about personal things or the way that the channel has gone in the past too much. And I just wanted to share that with you for people who are interested and people who have supported. A massive thank you, and Lord willing, the channel will continue to grow into the future and reach more and more people, and hopefully more and more people will come to know God through what we're doing and what you're supporting. So thank you.